Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the Myth and Mayhem series. Today, we are doing another Norse myth. We are going to focus on Thor. Oops, I forgot to plug this in. Oh no. Of course. Let's do something that's controller based and not plug in the controller. That would be smart. I might have to restart the game now. I only woke up like 10 minutes ago. I'm so bad. Let's try restarting this game. How is everybody today? Nice. Uh, Here we go. Now my controller should work. Yeah. Continuing with Ariel in Atlantis. All right. So, like I said, we are going to continue with the Norse myth today. And I can't spell. Oh, all right. Don't forget to check out World History if you're interested or want any more information. Oops. I am just absolutely doing wonderful. I just knocked my tablet over. Ah. Oh no. Now it doesn't want to say it. Right. There it goes. Eventually I knew I'd get it. So let's stick a character to sleep. So in popular culture, Thor. He's currently a really big deal thanks to the Marvel Universe. It has been definitely pulled the whole Norse mythology back into the mainstream. So, short overview. Thor is the Norse god of thunder, uh, the sky, and agriculture. He is the son of Odin, who of course we covered last week. His mother is Jord, the consort of Odin. So it's not one of Odin's main wives, or it's not his first wife. Not sure how that works in their thing. Either way, it's not Freya. Uh, he is also the husband of the fertility goddess Sif. So together they have a son named Modi and a daughter named Third. He has one other child out of the myths, and that is Magni, who is uh who maybe it's not 100% the Gianax. I can't. I'm gonna be butchering names that I don't know. Jarn Saxa. So probably well aware, Thor is the defender of Asgard and Midgard. He's primary associated with protection through great feats of strength, arms, slaying giants, that kind of thing. I'm having no luck finding anything I need. Um, In fact, the majority of the tales that feature Thor involved a conflict with Jormungandr, who is the Midgard serpent. You can actually see Jormungandr in this game, or a version of him. Obviously, not actually Jormungandr, because in this game he's way too small. Jormungandr is a monstrous snake that coils itself around Midgard. Similar to other Norse gods, Thor is doomed to die at Ragnarok. Um, Last week we did talk about Ragnarok. It's the end of the world and twilight of the gods. So he is doomed to die then. It's just to be expected. In Ragnarok, Thor slays Jormungandr with Mjolnir, but dies to the poison from the Great Serpent. So it's one kills the other, but still dies as well. Um, his son Magni and his sons Magni and Modi both survive and inherit his hammer, which they use to restore the world after Ragnarok. So it's cool that his sons continue to survive even after he dies in the stories. So Thor originally developed from an earlier Germanic god named Donner. He's considered one of the most popular, or the most popular, god in the Norse pantheon. I can imagine for multiple reasons here. And he, like I said earlier, he can definitely be seen a lot in today's pop culture. We see a lot of Thor related stuff, whether it be comics or movies, books. So the day of the week that's associated with Thor, in both German and English words, are it's Thursday, which is known as Donnerstag in German, which means Thursday or Donnersday. So it fits. Thor was thought to have ruled the sky from the land of Prudvanir. And like I said, I'm not an expert at linguistics in any sort of way. I'm terrible at pronouncing these. Prudvanir, which means the plains of strength. This is where he builds his great hall called Bilsknir. Bilsknir, a palace that has 540 rooms. That is so many. But it's really awesome. Thor's popularity was at its height during the Viking Age, around 790 to 111 C. During that time, he is considered the greatest rival to Christ when Christianity was introduced to Scandinavia. There are more artifacts, such as like amulets, charms, of Thor's hammer than anything else. Christianity eventually prevailed and slowly replaced Thor by the 12th century. So that's the brief start. to this. Next, we're going to look at the functions. But first, I'm going to take a quick break. Oops. Yeah. This menu. Good. I will be right back, guys. Oh, no. Hey guys, we're back. Sorry about that. I think I'm coming down sick, unfortunately. I hope not, but it really seems like it. My throat is sounding so terrible today. Alright, we were going to start Thor's functions in the original society. Let me get these deer first, if I can. Well, raspberries. But I need the deer and the boar for clothing and materials. Don't remember how to run. Hold this? Nope. Hold that? Nope. That's sitting down. Something that's. No! Run into my hammer! Or axe. It's an axe. Come back! Too late to be sneaky. Come back! No idea. I'm even actually running faster. I'm not. Okay. Let's see. Attack. Oh, wait, no. Use, jump, sit, menu, look, hold, forsaken, move, run. Okay. No. Why? Why? I hit the wrong button trying to attack. Otherwise, it would have been mine. Okay, this way. Get the deer, get the deer, get the deer, get the deer. Damn. Back. I need your fur. This would be easier if I had a bow. Got it. Alright. Alright. So, back to functions. We'll walk around trying to find more animals to kill. Thor was primarily a protector god, although the stories concerning him that explain. There are stories of him that explain natural events. Because of this, he's considered an etological type of god as well. An etological god is just a god that is used to explain how an aspect of life came to be. He was supposedly supposed to burst forth from his hall, from his great hall by two. Man, I typed that out wrong, didn't I? He would burst forth from his great hall in his chariot, pulled by two male goats named Tanishneer, meaning tooth gnasher, and Tangrisnir, meaning snarl-tooth. These two goats could be eaten by Thor and brought back to life the next day as long as their bones remained intact. So he always had food. The roar of thunder is created from the chariot wheels as it skates across the heavens. There's also a story that credits Thor with creating tides. Beyond that, though, he was mostly invoked for protection and problem solving. Pagans sacrificed to him when they were threatened by hunger and disease. They saw him as the master of thunder, lightning, storms, rain, fair weather, and crops. He used three items to help him defend Asgard and Midgard. His hammer Mjolnir, his belt of strength called Meginjord, which doubled his strength when he wore it, and his great iron gloves that's needed to wield his hammer. I didn't know that he had to wear gloves in order to wield Mjolnir. I think most of my knowledge of Thor originally came from MCU, where, of course, there's no such thing. So that was a really nice addition that I was unaware. I'm getting attacked by bees. I did not realize there was a beehive in here. Um, so from that, come on. All right, fine. We're just gonna attack the beehive. No, wait. We're gonna wait. Let my health regen, then attack beehive. Okay. So another thing Thor was used for was to, or a few other things, was he was used to invoke. He was invoked to seal business contracts, consecrate marriages. He was invoked for agricultural abundance, protection during voyages, in particular sea voyages, and victory in battle. And even after the introduction of Christianity, people continued to invoke Thor through most of the Viking Age. And that could be seen with the amount of statues and engravings that have been found dedicated to Thor throughout the ages. Thor is known to have a quick temper in these myths, and he shows impatience for following other people's rules. He is never depicted as subtle or careful, preferring direct action over discussion or planning when solving a problem. Thor doesn't have the capacity to deceive or to be able to perceive deception in others. So, because of this, he gets tricked a lot by magic, spells, and shapeshifters. Which I think is a really interesting, unique thing for a god to be able to be tricked. It's this and this. I want that beehive. Give me a beehive. I'll just break everything down that's connected to it. Oh no! Oh no! I just realized I was about to die. And then I died. That's okay. You just go grab it. Okay, it's down over there. My first death in this game. Oh, the sorrow. There'll be plenty more. Oh, look, he's gonna tell me about death. Hi, Hagen. You suffered a mortal blow. Each time you are struck down, you'll forget a small part of your abilities and drop your belongings at the site of the accident. If you wish you were home by now, I'd recommend building a bed wherever home may be. Okay. We are going that way. So, different from pop culture, Thor is not depicted as the brother of Loki in these myths. And he's also never depicted as clean shaven or blonde. Except when he was rewritten by Christian context later on. In the old images of Thor, he's shown with long hair, generally red, and massive beard. And most of these depictions have him in the middle of battle. He's closely associated with water in many of the myths, and is seen bravely crossing dangerous rivers and going further out in the sea than anyone else. And you have to recall Vikings at that age Their life was the water. There we go. Who says the most dangerous thing is trees? It's totally the bees. We win though. We got it. And how do I... I'll just use my mouse. There we go. Alright, looks like it's getting to be night, so we will head back up. Scandinavians from the Viking Age especially revered Thor as a guide across seas and a protector from storms. Housewives, farmers, weavers, brewers all could call upon Thor in their respective daily challenges. So, because of this, Thor is considered the Norse god of every man. He's the no-nonsense deity that anyone could relate to and depend on. The next thing we are going to go over is the myths involving Thor. There's the stories that feature Thor emphasize his strength and reliability. In the stories, even when he is tricked or outsmarted, he'll win in the end. Some of these are the most famous, such as the Castle of the Giant, Utgard Loki, and the 3 tricks he played on Thor. In this story, Thor was traveling with his servant. Oh gosh, I can't pronounce names. Thahafni and Loki. They encountered the giant Skimir in the forest, and he offered to carry their food bags for them. The giant ties the bag so tightly that Thor can't open it. So Thor attacks the giant 3 times with his hammer while the giant is sleeping. But each attack has no effect, merely just waking the giant from his sleep, where he thinks an acorn or a leaf has fallen on his head. After they part ways from Skimir, they arrive at the stronghold where the giant Utgard Loki mocks them for being so small and tells them if they want to stay, they have to compete in a contest to show their worth. Loki offers to take on an eating competition against Loki. Loki loses, even though he eats all the meat in the trough. Unfortunately, Loki eats all the meat in his as well as the bones and the trough itself. After Loki loses I'm gonna struggle with this name every time I hit it. Thafalgi runs and loses 3 races to Hugi. And when it's Thor's turn, he chooses a drinking contest, but fails to empty the horn after 3 drinks. Utgarda Loki mocks him and challenges him to lift a large gray cat off the ground. Thor, however, can only lift a paw of the massive feline. Once again, he is mocked and challenged to wrestle an old woman, Utgarda Loki's nurse, Ellie. The 2 grapple until Thor is forced down onto one knee. And at that point, Utgarda Loki calls a halt to the contest and allows them to spend the night. The next morning, the three companions and Utgarda Loki ride out from the castle. And it's at this time that Utgarda Loki reveals the truth of the past few days. He tells them that Skimir in the forest deceived Thor when he was struck. In truth, he was striking three mountains that are now flat. He also told them that once they were in the castle, he deceived them, and that Loki's opponent in the eating contest was actually wildfire, which burned up everything, and that Jafali's opponent was actually Thought, which flies faster than anyone can run. As for Thor's contests, the bottom of the drinking horn was in the sea, so no matter how much he drank it, it would never empty. He did drink so much, however, that the sea level had dropped a bit and tides were created. The Grey Cat had actually been the Midgard serpent who encircled the world, and the fact that Thor had managed to lift it as far as he did was an incredible feat. And the final opponent, the old woman, had been old age itself, which nobody can defeat. Thor responds to this kind of like Thor would by drawing his hammer to smash Utgarda Loki's head, but the giant and his stronghold vanish. Because of this, Thor swears his vengeance on the Midgard serpent for being able to resist him. Not long after this journey takes place, there's another small story where he goes fishing with the giant Hymir, where he catches the serpent. But Hymir, fearing that they may drown, cuts Thor's line during the not quite battle. What would you prefer to say? During the fishing moment. Because of this, the serpent escapes, and Thor throws Hymir overboard before wading back to shore himself. Neither of these tales show Thor at his best, since he's deceived by one and betrayed by the other. He is seen as a heroic figure, though, because these failings are not seen as his own, but others. No one could have done better against Utgarda Loki's magic, as well as no one can predict what their companion will do in a panic. In another tale, Thor's hammer is stolen by the giants, and he has to disguise himself as Freya and pretend to be the giant's bride in order to get it back. Stories like these were really entertaining for the Norse people, but it also kind of gave them a comforting message that even Thor, a god, has bad days. Which I feel is, yeah, I feel is a big message for people who we know had struggled through really harsh winters. I gotta go repair my hammers. I am not sneaky, but I want the steer. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Come back. I'm not gonna. No, I can't say that. So I'm not gonna hurt you much. But reality. Could you get another bite? Yeah. No. Oh, there's another one. Oh, and there's some raspberry bushes. I have been distracted. It's okay. Alright. So now we're getting to the cult of Thor, or the followers of Thor, if you will. Um, Thor gave comfort and reassurance, and that's what made him such a popular god. As is expected, very little is known beyond the artifacts and engravings, statues that were found from that era. There have been temples to Thor found from the era that are mentioned in later writings in particular. The most famous of these has been. The most famous of these is the Temple of Uppsala in Sweden, which is dedicated to the worship of Freya, Odin, and Thor. Sacrifices were made at these temples every 9 years, where the males of every species were killed and hung from trees in a sacred grove. I remember seeing that wasn't a good sound. I remember seeing that in Vikings, actually, the show. Okay, everything looks to be in one piece. Unfortunately, most, if not all, of these temples were destroyed once Christianity overtook paganism as the main religion. A story that relates to this is the story of the Norwegian king Olaf, uh, Tryggvason, who converted his kingdom to Christianity through violence and torture. Destroying a temple after he was shown how a statue of Thor moved using pulleys and rope. In the end, they believed in Thor. The belief in Thor died out as his worshippers died or was converted to Christianity. And as I mentioned earlier, by the 12th century, he was basically just a memory and burnt ruins. That is it for this, for Thor's. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy looking into these myths. I feel like I've learned a lot more. Specifically Norse myths, because I realized my knowledge of Norse myths were so lacking. Did I not pick up my stuff? I did, didn't I? I did. I just never put my tunic on. You hear that? That's bees. Right there. Yep. Gonna go fight some more bees. We'll go put these, get these, and then set these guys and the other guys up. Come on, just break. There it goes. Just don't let them kill me this time. We're gonna get these bees. We're gonna do it. Got him. The first time I played this, I had a really hard time taking down any of the buildings. So I felt like I was destroying other people's work. I guess I like to be extra respectful. Almost there. Come on. There we go. This one. Here it goes. There it goes. I was wondering for a second. Come on. Finish falling apart. Surprised at how long that actually took. Oop. Let's switch to this one. There we go. We got some bees. Plenty of logs. Take this one out. Don't want to waste, so I'll grab all the ones I can. And that's it. Back to our house. Let's these bees up. Oops. Let's sit on the ground instead. Okay. Oh wait, no. I got it. Yeah, build. And let's build a pole. Here. And a pole. Here. Here's good. And then beehives. How do I rotate? It's left trigger and right stick. There we go. There's one. There's two. Now let's make sure they're happy. Those are happy. Those are happy. Yay! Now we have honey. I think we're doing pretty good for ourselves. Alright, guys. I'm gonna get ready to save and quit. Been nice going over this with everybody. And make sure you tune in next week for Loki with more Myth and Mayhem. See you guys later.